Good evening and welcome to tonight's St. Francis Fighting Saints volleyball game. CCAC action today, the CCAC finale in fact, between the Fighting Saints and the Crimson Wave of Calumet College of St. Joseph. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Terry Bonadonna. I'm on the call for today's game. 3 games of volleyball coming your way at least, and the Saints are hoping that it is just 3. They have won all 3 sets from Calumet St. Joseph in each of their last 3 meetings over the last 2 years. The Saints come in with a record of 16-21 overall, but much better in conference at 9-7. Crimson Wave are 2-26 this year. They have not won any of their 15 conference matchups. As I said, it is the final conference game of the year for St. Francis. They'll have one more game overall. That's coming up tomorrow night, a non-conference matchup against Indiana Northwest. Calumet does have one more conference game, and that's going to come up against Trinity Christian. But first things first, that's tonight's contest, and we're ready to get started. The Crimson Wave will serve first. They're on the left side of your screen right now, going to the right, and the first serve is away. Played on the back line by the freshman Katie Zakis. Nowicki looking for the kill, and she sneaks it just inside the line for the Saints' first point of the night. Let's look at the starters for today. You already met a few of them for St. Francis. Katie Zakis, Tanae Phillips, Jade Livesey Grork, Joanna Nowicki, Brenna Perinar, Darian Baldwin, Leah Alice is the libero and the server. She sends it away to the back middle. Calumet looking for the return, a little miscommunication, but it's bumped over. Abigail Strout gets it across, but Jade Livesey Grork on the other end slams it down inside the sideline. It's 2-0 St. Francis. Starters today for Calumet: Breon Green, Jonna Fackler, Abigail Strout, Cheyenne Plekas, Alex Sullivan, and Jaslyn Santiago. Their libero, wearing white tonight, is Alyssa Morales. Pushed across by Katie Zakis. The volley going here between 2 sides as Sullivan knocks it back to Leah Alice. Pushed across by the senior Tanae Phillips, playing in her second to last home game tonight. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. There's Phillips looking for the kill. She's got it. A point to Tanae Phillips. Phillips, Nowicki, and Livesey Grork all have kills among the first 3 points of today's game. And Leah Alice, who has for several years now been the Fighting Saints' best server, gets to try it again. A lollipop serve played by Jaslyn Santiago. That's Sullivan with a good dig on the other end from Katie Zakis, and a bad pass from the Saints. Perinar not able to dive into the bleachers to make that play. So the point goes to Calumet College of St. Joseph. It's their first point of the night, and their score very early on here is 3-1. First set of 5, best of 5. As I said, the Saints have not lost a set to Calumet St. Joseph in over 2 years. So they're hoping for more of the Saints today. Good serve, but a good diving play made by Katie Zakis. And it's back to Calumet. Crimson Wave, pump it across. There's Alice with the set to Brenna Perinar, and Perinar will put it down. Second kill of the day for Perinar. An assist to Leah Alice, the All-American, and it's 4-1 Saints. Leah Rose will check in to serve. Saints, in case you hadn't noticed, on the opposite end of the floor wearing pink. Usually that's something they do only in the month of October, but this season they extend it to the first day of November as well. Leah Alice, of course, wearing white. And that ball will drop for a Saints point. Green set it up, and everybody kind of looked at each other. No one knew who that pass was intended for, and they decided not to figure it out. So it's 5-1 Saints. Green bumps it to Fackler, and this time Morales is able to push it over. Baldwin to Phillips, tipped at the net, kept alive. Leah Alice for the Saints to Leah Rose. Here's Perinar. I think somebody went into the net. That's exactly what happened. Somebody for Calumet went into the net for a violation, and it's the second 3-point run of the game for the Fighting Saints. They're up by 5. Here's Sullivan. Sullivan blocked, but straight down out of bounds, so a point to Alex Sullivan and the Crimson Wave. Alex Sullivan has been the best player for the Crimson Wave this year. Junior outside hitter from Munster, Indiana. Leads the team with 208 kills. Make it 209 after that one. Leah Rose decided not to risk that ball going out of bounds. She played it off the back line, and Brenna Perinar is not able to squeak that into the line. Calumet picks up back-to-back points for the first time today. And Santiago will serve again. Baldwin to Brooklyn Withy. Withy gets her first touch of the game and puts it across the net. Back line, nice play by Leah Alice. Came into today needing just 2 digs for 2,500 for her career. Sullivan over to Alice. Baldwin sets it up and Withy puts it down. So the Fighting Saints lead by 4, 7-3. Here's the early score here. And McKenna Bartecki, freshman from Lockport, Illinois, Providence High School, on to serve for the first time tonight. Sullivan plays it. This is Sullivan over and getting the kill. Alex Sullivan performing well in the early going today. Sullivan picks up her second kill of the match. That's half her team's points. And Calumet St. Joe hanging in there in the early going, down 7-4. They've scored 3 of the last 5, make that 3 of the last 4 points in this game. Perinar blocked back across. And there's Perinar again. Came into today second on the team in kills. And that's too far out of bounds for Calumet. The point goes to the home team. St. Francis playing their penultimate home match of the season. Their penultimate regular season match of the season. They wrap up the season tomorrow night at home. And then they'll be on the road at the start of conference play. Sullivan across to her knees. Brenna Perinar picks it up. Pushed down by Brooklyn Withy, and a nice play by Calumet to keep this volley alive. Credit Jade Green with the save there. That ball drops out of bounds. That's a point to Calumet. The attacking error puts the Crimson Wave back on the board. That ball just out by inches. It is again a 3-point game. Serve goes to Fackler, and she gets, excuse me, that was Plekas, Cheyenne Plekas, who committed the serving error. And out of bounds, 9-5 Saints, and now Withy gets her turn. Morales. There's Rhiannon Cozy getting the touch over to Alex Sullivan, and Sullivan from the back line is able to push it across. Blocked at the net, but down into the net by Calumet. Point to St. Francis. They're doubling up the wave now. 10-5 our score. Cozy sets. And out of bounds for Abigail Strauch. 11-5 Saints lead. First to 25, of course, here in game 1. Best of 5. Timeout called by Cal St. Joe. Saints got off to a hot start. They led 6-1. And then Calumet came back and scored 4 of the next 6 points to make it 8-5, but 3 in a row for the Fighting Saints has them back into control here at 11-5. It's been a tough season for Calumet St. Joe and their head coach Kelly Greer. 2 wins in 28 tries. They're 0-15 in conference play, and they've played only 46 sets in the conference season. That means they've won only 1 first to 25 set all year. Other than that, they've been swept in each one, and they're not going to the conference tournament. They're not looking right now at postseason play. They just want to end the season strong. Push St. Francis to the limit if they can here, and see if they've got it in them. Brooklyn Withy serves. It's played by Plekas. Sullivan gets it across, and McKenna Bartecki's on the receiving end. There's Nowicki looking for her first kill, but she sends it straight into the net, and the visitors are back on the board. So a good early start for Calumet. Yeah, they're down by 5, but they're putting up a fight. They're certainly not laying down for St. Francis here. Trying to make a fight of this game 1 and maybe come away with an upset victory. Baldwin sets it up for Livesey Gork down into the back corner, and Plekas can't keep it in. Jay Livesey Gork picks up another kill. Katie Zakis and Tanae Phillips come back in, and Darian Baldwin goes back to serve. Leah Alice, Tanae Phillips, Joanna Nowicki also in the game right now. Here's the serve from Baldwin. Sullivan the first to touch it for the Wave. Pushed across by Strout. Luce Groark looking for another kill. This time Plikas is able to make the play. There's Sullivan from the back line. Played by Nowicki. Phillips looking for the kill. She's got it. Tanae Phillips makes it 13-6. Saints more than halfway now to the victory. Baldwin set to serve again on the season. Darian Baldwin has 30 aces, which is second on the team, but she has committed 33 service errors. Cozy sets to Santiago, dinked over. A nice diving play by Alice. There's Nowicki. That one may have gone out, but it's played by Plikas. Kept alive, and Morales will bump it over. Baldwin sets to Nowicki. Yes, Joanna Nowicki slips it in front of Morales. And the Saints add to their lead. They've scored 3 in a row. Something they've already accomplished 4 separate times in this game. Now another serve for Baldwin. They've not, at any point in this game, had a 4-0 run. We'll see if they can pick one up here. Zakis, Baldwin, Nowicki. Yes, Joanna Nowicki gets the point. Off the assist from Darian Baldwin, the Saints now do have a 4-0 run, and they're starting to run away with this first game. We'll see if they can keep the heat on for another 10 points. That ball too far and out of bounds. Baldwin had a good run of serves there. Ultimately, she makes the mistake to give the serve back to Calumet St. Joseph. So that is her 34th service error of the season, but it came at the end of a long run of serves. So nice work by Baldwin. Here's Calumet looking to get back on the board. Strauch over to Nowicki. Jade Livesey-Groark slipped, and that's 4 hits. So it's a point to the Crimson Wave. Just a simple slip right there from Jade Livesey-Groark, and the Saints are unable to recover from it. Baldwin up into the air. Alice will push it over. Saints dodge a bullet there. Here's Sullivan. Into the net. Alex Sullivan with the attacking error. Gives the point to St. Francis. Sullivan entered play today with 208 kills. More than 120 over the second place player on the team. But her attacking percentage is under 100. And that almost blind luck right there from Cheyenne Plikas. I don't think she intended for that one even to go over the net. Kind of got it off the side of her arm, but it came off at a funky angle and dropped inside the line along that near sideline. So it's a point to Calumet. And a nice one for the Crimson Wave, who are within 7 now. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. It was better to be both. Livesey-Groark tipped at the net. Sullivan keeps it alive. And the Wave will get it over. Nice work by the visitors. Here's Tanae Phillips. Pushing it on the line. No, it was just off the line. Point to Calumet. They're within 6. Jade Green, freshman defender, gets the serve here. Baldwin to Perinar, tipped at the net. Off to Jade Green. There's Cheyenne Plikas slipping it inside the line. Nice attack right there from Cheyenne Plikas. 3 straight points for Calumet. I mentioned that the Saints have pulled off the 3-0 run now 4 different times during this game. This is the first one we've seen from Calumet, and they are still alive in this one. Looking for their 4th consecutive point. It's Baldwin pushing it over and getting it down. Nice work by Darian Baldwin. First time we've seen that from her today. She's been playing the passing game, picking up a number of early assists. And so she catches Crimson Wave defenders a false sense of security. She does push it down for her point. Serve from Leah Rose. Here's Sullivan. Played on the back line by Leah Alice. Brooklyn Withy. Returned by Plikas. And there's Leah Alice on the spot. Perinar. to the back line, off the hands of Morales, but well out of bounds and out of the reach of Jade Green. A point to St. Francis, and they're up by 7. Timeout called by Calumet St. Joseph, their last timeout of this first set. Callie Greer wants to pull her team aside because they're in this one. Looked like it was over a little bit ago when it was 15-6, but her team went on a bit of a run. They've cut it to a 5-point deficit by scoring 5 out of 6 points and making it a 16-11 game, but here we are now with the Saints starting to pull away once more. They've scored the last 2 points. They're looking to put the finishing touches on a Game 1 victory. A timeout from Calumet. Trying to cool it off, get this game back on track. Leah Rose is doing the serving for the Fighting Saints of St. Francis. Trying to pick up their 17th victory of the season. The serve is away. Jade Green, the first one to touch it. Here's Cheyenne Plekas. Off the tip of the net. Was that tipped by a Saint? It was indeed. Point to Calumet. And a good timeout. Kara Courier had a few words for the ref. She was informed that was tipped by one of the blockers up front. And here we are in a 6-point game. So again, the timeout well taken. Second timeout the Crimson Wave have called, and they've come out strong after each one. Baldwin to Phillips. That was tipped as well before it went out of bounds. Going the other way this time. St. Francis gets the point, and McKenna Bartecki will check back in to serve. Bartecki from the right side to the back line, played by Morales. Nice hit by Sullivan to get it over the net, keeping that one alive. Very nicely done by Sullivan, but it looked too easy for Brooklyn Withy. Set up by Darian Baldwin. Withy gets the kill, and the Saints are just 5 points off of a Game 1 win. Very pretty sequence there, all around, really. Sullivan. Set up by Fackler, and Morales pushes it across to Leo Rose. There's Withy looking for another kill, but it is played by Morales. And Morales gets it across the net. Baldwin sets to Perinar, and Brenna Perinar soars for the kill. 21-12, St. Francis. It's been a nice game all around for the Fighting Saints. Now they're just trying to finish strong. McKenna Bartecki gets another serve. Brooklyn Withy pounds that one down for the point. 4 straight for the Fighting Saints. It's the 5th time in this game they've scored at least 3 points in a row. It's the 2nd time they've gotten to a 4-0 run. And Bartecki serves again. And Bartecki picks up the ace. Morales a little bit late to get to that ball. And McKenna Bartecki has her 31st ace of the season, moving her ahead of Baldwin for second most on the team. Fackler to Jade Green. Green pushes it over. There's Baldwin setting up Brooklyn Withy. 24-12 St. Francis. Bartecki will go back to serve and try to finish this game on a 7-0 run. Here's the serve from Bartecki. Morales kept alive to Jade Green. Green pushes it across. Rose to Baldwin to Perinar. Perinar plays it softly and nicely done on the back line by Green, but right into the net. Point and game to the Fighting Saints. They wrap this thing up on a 7-0 run, and they take a 25-12 victory in Game 1 in our best-of-5 match. Quick break coming up right here, but we'll have Game 2 in just a moment as the Saints try to take a big lead over Calumet St. Joseph in this conference finale. Stick around. 25-12, our score in the first set tonight. Saints victorious over the Crimson Wave of Calumet. Take a look at some of the stats from that first game. .405, the attacking percentage for St. Francis, very impressive compared to Calumet's .071. Saints had 20 digs, 18 assists, compared to 13 digs, 4 assists for Calumet. Crimson Wave were led by Alex Sullivan, who had 2 kills, but in 12 chances. 3 kills for Cheyenne Plakas in 8 chances. 4 digs apiece for Alex Sullivan and Alyssa Morales. They were led in assists by Jonna Fackler, who had all 4. St. Francis led in kills by Brenna Perinar. She had 5 in only 9 chances. 4 for Brooklyn Withy. 14 assists out of the 18 came from Darian Baldwin. 9 digs for Leah Alice. She came into today just 2 away from 2,500 in her career. The all-time Saints leader is now up to 25.07. So congrats to Leah Alice, the all-time digs leader in St. Francis history, and that number continues to rise as the Saints get first serve in game 2. The 2 teams have swapped sides, and Leah Rose sends the serve away. Nobody was paying attention for Calumet, and the Saints get the easy point. Sullivan played that ball first. Her entire front line was turned in the other direction. Not a lot Sullivan can do about that, as far as I can tell. Sullivan sends this one into the net, but it's nicely played by Fackler. Good job sticking with it. Plakas pushes it into the net. Unable to get it over, and the Saints have a quick 2-zip lead. Here's a serve from Leah Rose. Santiago tips it over. Alice passes to Perinar, and Perinar picks up her 6th kill of the night. Brenna Perinar having a great match so far this evening. And the Saints, for the 2nd consecutive game, jump out to a 3-0 lead. Boded well for them last time around. 3-0 lead usually does. Tanae Phillips gets the kill. Nice diving effort from Plakas. Couldn't make the play, though. It's a 4-0 lead for St. Francis. Remember, the Saints finished the last game on a 7-0 run. So they have now scored this match's last 11 points. And Rose is trying to make it 12 in a row. Plakas to Morales. And knocked across by Sullivan. Good diving play by Alice. Brooklyn Withy robbed by by Morales. And up into the air. Fackler hit that up into the air. And it's the 3rd or 4th time that's happened tonight, where several Wave players stood around looking at each other with the ball up in the air. It's not going well right now for the visitors, and so Kelly Greer calls another timeout. Mentioned before, it is November 1st. You probably didn't need me to mention that for you to be aware of it, but it is the first day in November. And yet usually the Saints wear their pink uniform tops only in the month of October, but they only had 1 home match in all of October, and that was during the fall break for the rest of the school, I guess for them as well. This is the first time during active school session that they've been able to play in the pink jerseys, and they've got the promotion tonight. After the 2nd game, anybody who paid $1 is able to serve at the balloons located on the other end of the court. Proceeds go to cancer research as Leah Rose picks up an ace. Off the inside of the arm of Plakas there, and Sullivan unable to make the diving play. It's 6-0. And that is now 13 straight points for the Saints. Leah Rose continues her serve. Sullivan can't keep it. I was going to say she can't keep it in bounds. The real problem is she couldn't get it over the net. 7-0 St. Francis. Another serve for Rose. Into the net. Abigail Strauch could not strike that ball high enough. That's 15 straight for the Fighting Saints. Leah Rose up to 32 aces this year. Serves again. Plakas to Morales. And Sullivan gets it over. Ball into Perinar. Brenna Perinar is another kill. The best run of play all year for St. Francis. They have scored 16 consecutive points from An 18-12 lead in game 1, all the way to a 9-0 lead here in game 2. They have not surrendered a single point to Calumet. Nearly one right there, but Leah Alice came in to make the play. Tanae Phillips tipped and out of bounds. Again, it was tipped at the net. So another point to St. Francis. 10-0 the lead. We're nearly halfway to a win here, and Leah Rose has not had to stop serving yet. Plikas from the center line. Pushed back across by Brooklyn Withy. And a double touch on the other end by Calumet. 11-0. Plikas. Set up by Fackler, and Sullivan gets it over. Here's Perinar again. Plays it softly and right into the soft spot on the defense. Another kill for Brenna Perinar. Perinar's now got 9 for the game. Make it 8. Still impressive. 12-0 Saints. Morales over to Alice. Couple of liberos. Brooklyn Withy gets it over, but a nice dig there by Fackler. However, the Wave are not going to get anything out of it as Strauch hits it into the net. Another point for St. Francis. They lead 13-0. Morales. Sullivan gets it over to Leah Ellis. Baldwin to Perinar, and another kill for Perinar. There's 9. And Calumet needs another timeout. 14-0. The Saints, going back to game 1, have scored 21 consecutive points. I'm not sure what Kara Courier can say to her team during this timeout, other than just keep up the good work. Everything's going pretty smoothly. They're in very good shape to go up 2-0 on the Crimson Wave here. As I said, after this set, fans will have the chance to serve for prizes, including gift certificates, USF Volleyball apparel. Any proceeds for anyone who's entering that contest going to cancer research, and that is the standard October promotion for the Fighting Saints volleyball team. That's why they wear these pink uniforms. But again, they only had the one home game in all of October during fall break back on October 20th. So they come out wearing pink today. Tomorrow, second day of November, final home game for the Fighting Saints. They'll take on Indiana Northwest for the second time this year. They beat Indiana Northwest on the road a couple of months ago. But it is senior night tomorrow. So this is a fun week of volleyball here. Their conference tournament begins next week, although that will be on the road. 14-0 Saints, and Leah Rose is ready to keep this serve going. Nice diving play by Plikas. Over to the sideline, and Tanae Phillips is able to get her hands on that ball. Leah Alice gets it over. Strauch pushes it across to Alice. There's Withy. And Brooklyn Withy gets the kill. 15-0. It's getting crazy here for St. Francis. 22 straight points. Crimson Wave just searching for answers. Can't get it going out of the timeout. Withy gets another kill as that ball gets away on the pass from Calumet. It was intended to be a pass. The ball ended up just floating beyond the net, and Withy was there to pick up the big kill. 16 points in a row. In this game, 23 overall. Number 16 serves it out of bounds. A little disappointed in herself, but it was a good run. 16 points for Leah Rose. She took 17 consecutive serves and finally commits the service error. That is her 34th this year. Calumet is on the board. Mercifully, they're able to get the serve back. See if maybe they go on a little run here. Leah Alice hits it awkwardly up in the air and straight down. So 2 in a row now for Calumet St. Joe's after they had given up 23 consecutive points the other way. A rare miss hit there by Leah Alice. Unforced mistake. Alice gets a chance for redemption. She sets up Darian Baldwin, and Baldwin sets Brenna Perinar's kill. Paranar into double digits for the game as the Saints lead by 15 again, 17-2. McKenna Bartecki in a serve. It was Bartecki who finished that first game with the 7-0 run, and then Leah Rose continued the run into the second game with 16 straight points. Withy, another kill. Second time in a row that's happened for Brooklyn Withy. The ball has just floated on the other side, and Withy's been ready for it, up at the net, picking up the kill. Brooklyn Withy's got 7 kills for the night. That's second most on the team. Straight into the net from Bartecki. Cal St. Joe's has 3 points in this game. 2 of them have come on St. Francis serving errors. They'll take them any way they can get them. Jaslyn Santiago sends the serve away, and Leah Rose is on the back end to play it. There's Withy looking for another kill, and just barely does pick it up inside the line. 16-point lead for the Fighting Saints. And Brenna Paranar will get to serve. A rarity for Paranar. She doesn't serve often. Gets a chance here, sends it to the back line, and Morales. Into the net. Cheyenne Plikas, the last one to get her hands on that ball, but can't do anything with it. 20-3 our score. Paranar serves again to Alyssa Morales. Sullivan, played by Rose. Withy, powerful shot and a kill. Brooklyn Withy's up to 9 kills for the match. It's an 18-point lead for St. Francis. They can score 4 more in a row. This would be their most decisive victory of the season. That ball did not scrape the back line. Paranar just missed. It is a service error. Third one of the game for St. Francis, and the 4th point for Calumet College St. Joseph. Joanna Nowicki gets her first touch of this whole game, and it's returned. Withy slips it in on that front line. Brooklyn Withy stays hot. 22-4 our score. Lindsay Nunez will check in for Withy, and Nunez gets the serve. Jade Livesey-Cork comes in as well. Leah Rose sits down, or at least stands on the sideline. Rhiannon Cozy sets up Cheyenne Plikas straight into the net. Two points away from a victory. Saints still looking for their most decisive win of the year. Alyssa Morales to Rhiannon Cozy. There's Alex Sullivan from the back line. McKenna Bartecki tipped that ball. A mistake by Bartecki. Point goes to the visitors. 23-5 our score. Calumet trying to make this one a little bit more respectable here, or pull off the miracle comeback. Joanna Nowicki slips it in there. Back line past the diving Alyssa Morales. And it's game point for the Fighting Saints, leading by 19. Trying to finish off a 20-point victory with Darian Baldwin getting the serve. Baldwin, along with Brooklyn Withy, one of only 2 players to appear in every set this year for the Saints, and trying to finish off this one. Sullivan into the net, and that does it. 25-5. A dominant victory for St. Francis. Going back to game 1, they're on a 32-5 run, and they take a 2-0 lead in the match. We'll take a break. Game 3 coming up shortly. Saints looking for the clean sweep. just about ready to go with set number 3. Of course, that elongated break came because of the contest held between games. A couple of winners out there hitting the targets down on the floor and winning some prizes, all in the name of raising money for cancer research. Big win for the Saints in Game 2. They won 25-5. That was after a 25-12 Game 1 victory, so they've outscored the Crimson Wave so far overall 50-17. Let's take a look at some of the other stats from the first 2 games, both won by St. Francis. 537 attacking percentage for the Fighting Saints, negative 062 for Calumet. Crimson Wave led by Cheyenne Plekas and Alex Sullivan, who have 3 kills apiece. 16 digs overall for Calumet, 32 for St. Francis. 5 digs each for Cheyenne Plekas and Alyssa Morales lead the way for Calumet. They've got just 5 assists on the day, 4 of them from Jonna Fackler. Saints have 30 assists, and their leader in that category is Darian Baldwin with 23. Leah Alice has 15 digs to pace the team, 10 kills apiece for Brenna Perinar and Brooklyn Withy. Each of them have attacking percentages over 600. Perinar 643, Withy 625. Here we go, Saints looking for the 3-set sweep here, and they've switched sides again as Calumet will get the first serve. It belongs to Jonna Fackler, and it's played on the other end by Leah Rose. There's Withy looking for her 11th kill, but Alyssa Morales stands in the way of that. That ball into the net, Saints point. They score first for the 3rd straight game. Now when I said into the net, I'm not sure if it actually hit the net, it was right up against it. But again, nobody played it for Calumet. A lot of miscommunication today. Tapped across there by Abigail Strout. Saints have a chance, Joanna Nowicki pushes it over. Here's a pass from Morales, setting up Sullivan. Blocked, and a point to the Saints. So the score now 1-1. Point there went to the Wave, and he said point to the Saints. Blocked into the net, so it's 1-1. First time we've actually been tied at any point of any game, aside from naturally 0-0. Wave have not led at any point of any game. Joanna Nowicki keeps it that way with a good kill. 2-1. Nowicki, the team's kills leader, with 312 of them coming in. She was 32 ahead of Brenna Perinar in that stat, but Perinar's been on fire today for Nowicki. That is the 5th kill. So Perinar's trimmed the deficit a little bit. I don't think she's going to quite catch up to Nowicki this season. Here's Darian Baldwin. Nowicki into the net. A mistake made by her makes it 2-2. And that means we are tied for a second time in the match. Remember, Game 2, Saints jumped out to a 16-0 lead before the Crimson Wave scored for the first time. Santiago into the net. Service there makes it 3-2 Saints. And once again, Calumet unable to take their first lead of the evening. Here's Darian Baldwin on the serve. Fackler sets up Sullivan, and Leah Alice there for the dig. And Jade Livesey-Gork is there to finish it off. Saints starting to get on a roll here as they've scored 2 points in a row for the first time in this 3rd game. They're doubling up the Crimson Wave at the moment, 4-2. Morales up in the air from Fackler. That's Sullivan. A good dig again by Alice. Nowicki for the kill. Yes. Nowicki finishes it off. So she's the one who starts off this 3rd set hot after it was a little bit slower going for her in the first 2, although that in large part because she wasn't on the floor. Not her fault. Baldwin drops it in just in front of Jade Green. A point for Darian Baldwin on the ace. Morales to Fackler, and Sullivan over and across, played by Lindsay Nunez on the back line. Here's Tanae Phillips, blocked but kept alive. Sullivan gets it over. Nice work by the Crimson Wave. Here's Tanae Phillips, blocked again, and Breon Green picks up the point on the block kill. Nice work by Green. That is, in fact, the first block of the game for either team. Breon Green picks up her first point. She's not really been all that active today, spending a lot of time off on the sideline after initially getting the start in the first set. Nowicki. Morales gets it up in the air off the basketball rim and out of bounds. The basketball rim still in play, but it ricocheted off into the bleachers. And that's not in play. Here's Leah Alice. Morales pushes it over, and Alice plays it. Baldwin sets it for Livesey Groark, who pushes it down into the blank spot on the defense. It's 8-3, St. Francis leads. And Alice will get to keep the serve up. That ball will drop, killed by Cheyenne Plikas. They're back to within 4. Plikas will get the serve here. Cheyenne Plikas having a pretty good game. Freshman from Thornton, Illinois, but makes the mistake here, serving it out of bounds. The only Illinois native on this Indiana school roster. Attended Thornwood, not all that far from here. A little bit east. Serve is away from Leah Rose, and it's another ace for Rose, off the side of the arm of the aforementioned Cheyenne Plikas. 10-4 is our score. Here's another serve from Rose. Rhiannon Cozy pushes it over. Baldwin to Alice, and Alice is called for the infraction. Double touch there. 2 points for St. Francis for every 1 for Calumet. That's the way it's been going pretty much this whole way. It was 2-1. It was 4-2. I think at one point it was 6-3. It was 8-4. And now it's 10-5. So they've been doubling them up at every turn. Brenna Perinar trying to keep that trend going, at least the start of it. She picks up the point. Perinar has her 11th kill, and it's the 11th points of this set for the Fighting Saints, 11-5. McKenna Bartecki out of bounds. So the visiting side back within 5, 11-6. Putting up a fight here as they did in the first game. They had a tougher time in game 2. And it's tougher to come back as well when you're shooting yourself in the foot. A service error committed by Rhiannon Cozy, and again, the Saints are doubling them up. It's 12-6. The 4th service error of the night for Calumet, and there's the 6th service error of the game for St. Francis. That one goes up against Brenna Perinar, her 10th of the season. 12-7 our score. Crimson Wave trying to hang in there and cut this thing to 4 points. Leah Rose. Set up by McKenna Bartecki to Joanna Nowicki, and a nice dig on the other end by Jada Green. Sullivan tipped by Withy and into the net. It's a point to Calumet College of St. Joseph. They are within 4, and finally the trend ends of the Saints getting 2 points to every 1 for Calumet. First time all game the Saints have not reached a plateau of doubling up. Calumet is 2-1, 4-2, 6-3, 8-4, 10-5, 12-6. It will not be 14-7, but can it be 13-8 here? Not if Jada Green has anything to say about it. Nice dig. Cheyenne Plikas tipped to the net, back to Leah Rose. Bartecki to Withy, and Brooklyn Withy throws it down. Apparently, Jada Green didn't have anything to say about it. Jada Green playing well on the back line. But a nice kill anyway by Withy. Brooklyn Withy's having one of her better matches of the season. 11 kills for her. Sullivan blocked, but right back to her. Santiago over to the back line and slips it in between Leah Alice and Lindsay Nunez. Nice diving effort from Nunez, but it's not enough. Saints won game 2, 25-5. Already 9 points here. Fairly early in game 3 for Calumet. Nowicki trying to get one back, and she does. 14-9. Darian Baldwin will go back to serve with Tanae Phillips and Jade Livesey-Gork back in up front. Cheyenne Plekas hits it off the top of the net and it skips inbounds, hit the line there. Nice work by Cheyenne Plekas, and another point to Calumet. And they're back to within 4, hanging around. Remember, they're a long way back, but certainly wouldn't be the first time anybody came back to win a match from down 2 sets, but even more than that, Crimson Wave have only won 1 set all season in conference. They'd love to get one here, but another unforced error. It's their 5th service error of the game, and it might not sound like a ton, but keep in mind they haven't had the serve all that often. Into the net, pushed over by Breon Green, and a little miscommunication there between Jade Livesey-Gork and Lindsay Nunez leads to the miss hit. Calumet back to within 4. We'll see if they can maintain a serve here. They've had a number of mistakes on these serves. They're so close in this game, they don't want to lose it on their own mistakes. Livesey-Gork tipped at the net, kept alive by Plekas, and Rhiannon Cozy can't get it over, nor can Breon Green. Too many hits point to St. Francis, and at least Crimson Wave made the Saints earn that one. That's key for a team right now looking to win just their 2nd set of the conference season. They've certainly put up a better fight than they did in Game 2. But the Saints trying to make a run here to put it away as Leah Rose gets the serve. Breon Green over to Leah Alice. Tanae Phillips blocked and down into the net. Point to the Fighting Saints. It's 17-11. Remember, 16-11, as close as this game was just a moment ago. That was the score at one point in Game 1 as well. St. Francis finished that one on a 9-1 run. In fact, they finished it on a 7-0 run before starting Game 2 on a 16-0 run. So 23 straight points overall for the Saints. This one has been much more tightly contested. But still a healthy 6-point lead for the Saints as the timeout is called by Calumet. Some updated leaders for it. The Saints have 11 kills apiece from Brooklyn Withy and Brenna Perinar. Perinar's attacking percentage still over 600 at 667. Jade Livesey-Gork is 556, Brooklyn Withy at 579. 3 players on the team right now with percentages over 500. Very impressive. The team's attacking percentage is 507. Calumet's been able to get theirs back over 0 at 015. Serve is out of bounds from Leah Rose. So that's her 2nd service error of the game, or of the match, I should say. Calumet gets the points. These two teams have traded mistakes at times during this 3rd game, and has not been the most visually pleasing volleyball match, or volleyball game. The match has been much more clean, I think, than just this 3rd game has been. Brooklyn Withy tipped, kept alive by the Crimson Wave. Strauch is blocked, but she gets it back. And Rhiannon Cozy and Jeslyn Santiago kind of run into each other. It's a point to the Fighting Saints, and they're up by 6, 18-12. This is where it was in Game 1 when they ran away and did not allow another point the rest of the way. And McKenna Bartecki was on the serve at that point, too. Here's Bartecki's serve this time around. Cozy sets up Plekas. Tipped by Withy and down out of bounds. Point to Calumet. Rhiannon Cozy will get the serve. Cozy's got 12 aces. 150 serving percentage this year. Brooklyn Withy picks up another kill. Withy moves into the team lead with 12 kills on the night. And Brenna Perinar back to serve. A line drive serve. Brooklyn Withy there to clean it up once again. 13 kills for Withy. And the Saints are 5 points away from their 17th victory of the season. Trying to wrap up a 10-7 conference season. Last night of conference play in the regular season this year. Set up for Sullivan, tipped at the net. Bartecki hits it up into the air. Here's Rose to Nowicki, tipped once again. Right back to the Saints. Bartecki to Nowicki. Pass a little bit behind her. Nowicki cannot adjust. Points to the Crimson Wave. They've outdistanced their totals from either of the first two games when they fell 25-12 and 25-5. This one 20-15 now. 2014 rather. Nowicki pushes it across and out of bounds, and now it's 20-15. Nice work by Calumet. They are indeed keeping it close all the way throughout. Not at any point allowing the Saints to pull away. There's the serve. Set up for Withy, and Brooklyn Withy picks up another kill. Lindsay Nunez will get the serve here. Nunez needs a new ball. Kept alive by Calumet, pushed across. There's Darian Baldwin forcing it to the other side, and Baldwin picks up the kill. (22-15) our score. There's Lindsay Nunez with a serve out of bounds. 8th service error of the night for St. Francis. That number obviously much higher than they'd like it to be. They do have 6 service aces, which is a pretty nice number. And they've also got a 6-point lead late. Alice to Markenna Bartecki, and Jade Livesey-Grook mistimed her jump. She went up a little bit too early. Pass over her head, and the point goes to Calumet. Hanging in there. Saints, though, still just 3 points away. Santiago gets the serve. Back center, it's Leah Ellis. Bartecki to the right, and Darian Baldwin tipped and out of bounds. St. Francis point. Two points away, and here's Darian Baldwin trying to finish this thing off. Baldwin's serve from the right side is away, and it's received by Alex Sullivan. There's Sullivan looking for the kill, tipped at the net. Baldwin dives and keeps it alive, reaching into the bleachers and falling into the bleachers. Leah Ellis, nice effort, but she can't keep it going. The point does go to Calumet. And our score now 23-18. Sullivan gets the serve. Lindsay Nunez to Darian Baldwin. Here's Nowicki. Tipped at the net and down. Point St. Francis. Match point coming up. Fighting Saints looking for a 3-set sweep. It'll be their first one in their last 3 matches. Leah Ellis trying for the game-ending serve. Cozy sets it to Plekas. Back across to Ellis. There's Baldwin to Perinar into the net. We'll go on. Calumet needs another 5 points consecutively to keep this game alive. It is 24-19, but they're still going here. Still game point for the Saints. Nunez, Baldwin, Jade Livesey-Grook played by Plekas, and knocked out of bounds by Calumet. That's game. St. Francis wins it 25-19, and they finish off a 3-set sweep, 25-12, 25-15, 25-19. They pick up their 17th victory this year in 38 matches, and as I said, their first 3-set sweep since defeating Robert Morris this past weekend in straight sets. That was on Saturday. Now 3 of their last 5 wins have come in straight sets. So pretty nice work today for St. Francis. Go over the stats in just a moment as we look at the final totals from today's game. St. Francis again improves to 17-21. Calumet falls to 2-27. They are 0-16 in conference play with 1 match left against the first place Trinity Christian Trolls. The Saints improve to 10-7 as they end conference play. They have, however, locked up a spot in the conference tournament, which will begin next Tuesday. And they will not, I don't believe, have a home match in that conference tournament, but they will be participating in the first round on Tuesday. Some of the final stats from today: 482, the final attacking percentage for St. Francis, 028 for Calumet St. Joseph. St. Francis had 44 digs, 23 for the Crimson Wave. The Saints out-assisted Calumet 45-11. However, there was only one block in the game, and it belonged to Calumet College of St. Joseph. The leaders for the Crimson Wave, Cheyenne Plikas and Alex Sullivan, each had 6 kills. 7 assists led the way for Jonna Fackler, and 7 digs for Alex Sullivan. Alyssa Morales had 6. The 1 block went to Breon Green. For St. Francis, 14 kills. Brooklyn Withy soared ahead of the pack with a .609 attacking percentage to lead the way for the team today. Brenna Perinar finished second with 11 kills. She had a .562 attacking percentage. 33 assists for Darian Baldwin. Leah Ellis, the school's all-time leader, had a team-high 20 digs tonight. No blocks for the Saints. They didn't really need them. Again, they win 25-12, 25-5, 25-19. Most impressively, at one point, they did score 23 consecutive points between the end of Game 1 and the start of Game 2. Just one more to go in the regular season for St. Francis. Senior night coming up tomorrow night. 7 o'clock start time against the non-conference Indiana Northwest. It'll be the second matchup between those two teams this year. St. Francis went to Indiana Northwest on September 14th and beat them in straight sets. And this very young team has gotten a lot better since then, so they're hoping for more of the same tomorrow night. Again, 7 o'clock p.m. tomorrow night, and we'll have the broadcast for you right here, so come on back to GoFightingSaints.com. Broadcasting, of course, on YouTube and Facebook. But that'll do it for tonight. Till tomorrow, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis. Good night, all.